Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. I'm Mateen filling in for Qasim today. And today, our guest is Strictly Lit Tequila. So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and a little bit more about your brand.
Absolutely. My name is Anthony. I'm actually in San Diego, California, the owner of Strictly Lit Tequila.
Awesome. So what makes your tequila special?
Well, honestly, man, it's the stuff that we put in it. We make sure that it has, all the necessities that ignites the light inside of you, and it's also a tequila that is known for not getting you hangovers, and the reason why we say that is because we work with a company called Euphoric, and Euphoric is a company that's been around for about 15 years now, 14, 15 years. And they've been in the industry for a very long time. We started with them. We actually started with our water, which is Strictly Lit water, and made in San Diego as well. It has 0 parts per million in it, which is unheard of in the water industry because it's one of the cleanest waters on earth. When we signed up with Euphoric to do our water, we actually had another business venture that he invited us to do, and which was his tequila brand. He also does vodka. So Euphoric Spirits is kind of a blend of bunch of different stuff, and I also brought a bottle of Euphoric here so you guys can see what Euphoric looks like. And we're going to be doing another venture with him as well, as far as moving on to the next level of different, liquors. We plan on doing a vodka down the line. We plan on doing a whiskey down the line, a bourbon down the line. I mean, the list goes on.
Awesome. So how did you get the idea to start this business?
Well, basically, we kind of just we're in the right place at the right time, I guess you could say. It's something that doesn't just happen overnight. I never in a million years would have said, "Hey, I'm going to own a tequila brand." It was just something that happened. And it kind of happened because we were looking for different merch to give away. We were looking for different things to give away with the branding we already do, and of course, we were like, we do certain, giveaways like the hats that I'm wearing, and we do giveaways like shirts and stuff like that. And we definitely wanted to move on to something bigger and better. We were content with what we were doing, and we had the opportunity. We were just in the right place at the right time.
What were you doing before? Can you talk a little more about that and about your business?
Yeah. So I mean, basically, We've been doing a lot of different entrepreneur work with Strictly Lit. We're also a clothing brand. We're also a water line brand. We carry the name Strictly Lit for quite a while with a bunch of different brands, and we do a lot of different collabs with different people to do different stuff. And I think that we finally came to a moment where we said we want to come out with something that's going to be ours personally that we can actually introduce to the world and do it on a different level where we can reach everybody in the United States and outside of the United States, because it's really hard to reach out to so many different people, to have so many different people come on board and see what we're actually working with. It's not something that's an easy task, but we're up for it, and we're up for moving on and doing bigger and better things.
So
and I can say that, when it comes to that, we're able to do it with tequila. I mean, who doesn't like to drink tequila?
True. Yeah, that's right. I live in Texas, and we definitely love tequila in Texas.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we did a couple things as far as online. I mean, so you can actually order it now at strictlylittequila.com. We also deliver. We're also just signed up for Amazon, so we get approved for that in about 30 days. You can order now through Keg and Bottle here in San Diego. It's on our website. I mean, so we can actually now reach out to almost everybody in the United States because we deliver. And so it's kind of cool to know that, you don't have to be in a certain place at a certain time like we did. to get an opportunity, you actually could have it hand delivered straight to your house.
That's awesome. So how do you like? What does marketing look like for you? How do you get the word out about your brand?
I think that when it comes to marketing, you kind of gotta know people in certain places to get your foot in the door. Being that we're kind of like well known here in San Diego with a lot of different people that own businesses and stuff like that, that we kind of like have our foot in the door to get us into to individually set restaurants and bars. I mean, it's not an easy task. I mean, we're still in the process of doing our media kits. We're still in the process of getting a box for our bottle. The kind of things that make us really stand out is that when you look at the bottle, you have a light on the bottom that
Wow,
actually glows and makes everybody say, "Wow, I really want that thing because it's going to be the light of the party." And it goes to different colors, it flashes. I mean, it does so many different. I want to say it's like the talk of the party. When you know how you get bottle service at a bar and you're like you see all the flashing lights and everybody's looking and they see. And with our tequila, I mean, we're kind of bringing the party to you without having to pay the big old table fees and having to go and spend that extra $500 to get a bottle. We're actually doing it so that you can actually have it there at your own home and be the talk of the party.
that's awesome. So what is the role of technology in your business?
When you say technology, what do you mean?
Well, in terms of like, do you sell like on your website, like Shopify, like what does your tech stack look like for your business?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Well, we have our website, of course. We have our Instagram, of course. We just got a TikTok, which we haven't even started using yet, but we're going to be doing a lot of different, I want to say advertising. It's gonna be bringing a lot to the table because a lot of people will be able to be more familiar with it, seeing it around their town. We just left a segment now with Fox 5 News with a thing that they do called the local SD. And we're actually going to be doing a tasting at one of the bars that we're at here and locally in San Diego, in the gas lamp area. So it's going to be something that's going to grow on its own with the media content we do, of course. I mean, I know you follow me on my page, I follow you back, but I know you see the stuff that we're doing every single day to get our word out, of what and how we're going to make this ignite somewhere.
That's exciting. So is it really picking up traction locally in San Diego?
Well, since we're from San Diego, we started in San Diego, we're actually going to continuously grow out of San Diego. We're trying to make this something that is not just, for your locals. We want to make this for everybody. I mean, we just did a party in LA not too long ago. So we're already being introduced to the LA area. We're being introduced to other cities as well. We just got signed up for Vegas, and we're going to be doing something out there with a local restaurant. I believe it's in the Venetian. We're trying to accommodate to everybody that's in the areas that are pretty live and they get a lot of big crowds. And I think with that, like tourist areas and stuff, it's going to be able to take back to their hometowns, and it's going to be able to show them in their hometowns, like what we're doing out here. As they say, everything hits California, at the docks first, and we want to be a part of like, hey, we're not at the docks, but we're in California and we want to spread it out, all the way to the East Coast.
Awesome. So in your business, are you using artificial intelligence at all?
No, we're not. No, someone actually did mention that to me though. The AI stuff is pretty cool. I mean, it does show a lot of different stuff, that it can be potential help for our future. I mean, it does word a lot of different cool things. I mean, I have, looked into it. I've also had a coworker of mine, that was actually telling me that we could have AI create a girl with a bottle in their hand, and we wouldn't have to even pay girls to do modeling anymore. And I was just like, wow, really, that's pretty interesting. So I did see a lot of that going on to where I thought that, hey, maybe that could be a future thing that we're doing here.
Yeah, I feel like AI, there's definitely so many use cases, whether it's content creation, like high level chatbots for customer service, or even just informative campaigns for your product and explaining like what you're explaining to me now, like, why this tequila is such a, great product.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it does work it out for you in a way that I would have never thought possible. I mean, the model of our tequila, and we get this, from Euphoric, is that this is the only tequila that won't give you hangovers. And a lot of people are like, how is that even possible? How does that even work? And it all goes back to, the way Rick does it at the distillery. I mean, he takes out the bad impurities that are inside of tequila that give you those hangovers, that give you those major headaches in the morning when you wake up. And I mean, he's really a comedian when he talks about it, because he's all, what's the worst thing about this? And I'm like, what? And I'm like thinking like, oh, what is he gonna say? And he's like, it doesn't give you hangovers. And I was like, that's not a bad thing. That's a really good thing. And he was just like, yeah, I know. I just wanted to get your attention. So it's things like that really bring set forth to the table. Like, hey, what's so great about this tequila? Not only is it the smoothest tequila I've ever tasted, but it does so much more than that. And so we want to do that with our media kits to show people, because we're going to be including that in our box and stuff like that too, so that people can actually get a little bit insight of why this tequila is different than any other tequila out there on the market, because there is a lot of different tequilas. I've seen so many different ones, and I've tried so many different ones, and I see what they do for their marketing, and I just want to stand out a little bit different than other tequilas. And I think I've found a way to do so just with the little bit of, marketing that I'm doing now, is really just making it set out different than any other tequila. Because it's for everybody. It's not just for, one sole person. This is something that's going to grow on everybody.
Makes sense. So, what is the biggest challenge that you're facing right now? Is it marketing, getting the word out, or something else?
I think our biggest challenge right now is just getting into certain establishments. We have our foot in the door with quite a few, but the thing is the bigger places. Like, let's say I wanted to put my stuff at one of the biggest hotels in Vegas, and say, how can I get into MGM, or how can I get into Aria? They're all owned by MGM, but like, how can I get into them? And getting into places like that is going to be one of our biggest challenges. I mean, it kind of falls back like, how can I get introduced to somebody that's in the marketing there, or how can I get introduced to somebody that buys from there? And I think that's going to happen on its own with supply and demand. When people are looking for something and people want to grab that something, you're going to find a way to get it, but right now it is a challenge, because trying to find that one particular person, it's like pretty hard. Yeah. So, I mean, I think it'll move on, and I think we'll eventually get there with supply and demand.
So, are you focused also on getting into grocery stores or certain liquor stores?
So the thing with grocery stores and liquor stores, that is going to be another challenge, because grocery stores and liquor stores, they want you to have a certain amount on a bond, and meaning that you're storing it somewhere and it's insured, right? And if you don't have the supply and demand for them, they're not going to order from you. So you got to make sure you have enough tequila for supply and demand. And that's one thing that's going to make us stand out a lot more, is that we're going to have plenty of supply and demand. We just got a full truckload in. We just got a warehouse full of tequila. We are ready, and the launching that we're doing is really taking off. But I'm taking my time. I'm not in a rush, and that's the difference. Is a lot of people are just rush, rush, rush. Let's do it. We don't care. With us, we take pride in what we do and how we do it. And I think we're going to stand out a lot more, because I'm taking my time with the way I design the bottle. We're going to change our bottle a little bit more. I want my bottle to be all clear instead of frosted. I want to change up, a couple things, as far as the stickers go and stuff like that. I want it to be painted on the bottle with a clear bottle instead of just being, frosted the way I said it was. And I think that's going to make us stand out a little bit more. We tend to get confused a lot with, being a water bottle. And, people are like, oh, it looks like a Voss water bottle. Yeah, I know, but it's not. You got to really look at it and pay attention. And I think that's how we're going to set our differences with the light, and showing that, alone with the logo, of course, too. I mean, the logo really stands out. Like, what does that mean? Or what does it say? Or I think that's going to stand out on the shelf all by itself. But we are going to be doing like different releases, with different bottles. We want to do down the line an extra añejo. we right now we carry three different tequilas. We carry the silver, we carry the añejo, and we carry the reposado. And we want to take it further with the extra añejo with different bottles. So I mean, I notice there's a lot of tequilas that do that right now. A lot of tequila companies they release different bottles every year. They become harder and harder to get. It's a one-time release. Those are the kind of things we're looking forward to doing too. I mean, and it's going to be with an extra añejo. An extra añejo means that it's aged in the barrel a little bit longer than other tequilas. So you're looking at like 10 years plus. And you can buy barrels over in Jalisco in Mexico, and that have, companies that have them there that've been sitting there for years, and they're just aging them out like a fine wine. And I think that, when it comes down to it, we're going to find the best one. We're going to run with it, and we're going to definitely make that our bottle of the year.
Awesome. So, in terms of starting this company, I know alcohol can be tricky in terms of regulation. So, have you had to deal with some of those
Absolutely.
things? Like, what does that look like
Absolutely.
for you?
You know what? It was really hard to go through that whole process. I think we had to wait a total of 6 months to a year to get our approval for everything. It wasn't, you have to follow a lot of rules and regulations. It's not easy. Luckily, we worked under Euphoric, which already was registered and regulated and everything. So we were able to take a lot of shortcuts, I want to say, but not illegally, of course, but in the legal way. Where he already knew where to go and who to talk to and how to file paperwork and how to get things done so that you get approved right away. And I think it's best when you do business like that with knowing somebody that's familiar with the market and that's already successful, so that you can be successful as well. They get you in the door a lot faster.
So true. So, what is your top business priority in the next 3 to 6 months?
I think right now our priority is getting approved in different states. So I mean, long term goal, we're gonna be expanding to different areas. I mean, we just got approved for Vegas. We're moving on to Arizona after that. We've already been filing all the paperwork for that to get approved in different states, and we want to move on all the way up to the East Coast. I mean, we have different friends in different areas that are more than happy to put us in their establishments, and we want to be able to do tastings in different states, and we want to be able to show off the brand itself. I mean, it'll really help us get more established as far as being inside of different areas, because I notice a lot of people don't do that when it comes to tequila. They don't really do any tastings. They don't really show up at a lot of different places. They don't really give away any merchandise. I mean, these are all things that we want to do. We want to make it fun. We want to make it exciting so that you never forget it. You keep moving on. And I've always thought, like, I could easily pay $4,000 for a billboard, or I can pay $4,000 for shirts and hats, and that'll last a lifetime instead of just a month. And that's the way I do my advertising. That's the way I move when it comes to showing off, the merchandise, or showing off the labels, and getting everything well known, because you're going to start seeing the logo and saying, oh, I know that logo, but where do I know it from? And it's going to grow in your mind after that. It's like hearing a song all the time on the radio. You're like, man, I really hate that song, but I know every lyric on it. And so I feel like it's going to do the same thing with all the merch and hats and stuff like that.
That's smart. So, what is the one biggest piece of advice that you wish you knew before we started this company?
Let me see. I guess I wish I would have known how to have everything in order, as far as like having my boxes, my bottles, my stickers. I mean, I wish I would have known it all in advance to be a little bit more prepared, instead of, because I think our waiting time has taken so long to get everything launched and ready to go, because it's so hard to get a hold of certain things, especially right now with ordering out of the country. I mean, it's not easy to get, let's say I wanted to order a bunch of glass from China, or I wanted to order a bunch of, stuff from Mexico, or I mean, anywhere outside of the US, it's kind of hard to get it in here, at a fast pace. It'll eventually get here, but it'll take, a couple months, and then that sets us back a couple months, and we still have to do the work. And so I think that's the things that we're learning in the process. It takes so long to get all this stuff going and rolling, in order for you to present it in front of people. Because once you have, like, let's just say my bottle here, I got it all ready, it's good to go, but the box ain't here. So I'm like, it's not ready in my eyes to present it to people the way it is, because I feel like it needs something else. And yeah, I could easily get away with it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not that type of person. I don't really like cutting corners like that. I really want to have it presented in the right way where it looks so presentable that you can't say no. It looks so good after you even taste it. You're like, I want it not just because of the taste, but I want it because of the bottle. I want it because of the box. I want it because of the light. It just moves on the list. And you're going to just be like, I'm going to save this even after I drink it all. That's kind of, I think, where we're going with it.
That's awesome. So if we're going to have this conversation again in 1 year from now, where do you expect things to go for your business?
I would say in a year from now, we're going to be, I want to say about at least 30 states in. And we're going to be in a lot of different bars. Maybe not in supermarkets yet, because that's a high demand. We're already, pretty swamped with just bars alone and online orders alone. But that's what it's about. I mean, it's about growing. It's about learning. It's about us seeing where we can go with it. It's about moving on to bigger and better things. I mean, I want to say in a year from now, you're going to be like, wow, you did all that in a year. That's where we're going to be at in a year from now.
That's awesome. So if somebody watching this wanted to reach out to you, do you mind sharing like your website and social media handles for somebody to get in touch with, with your company?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's do it. So our website is strictlylittequila.com. Our Instagram is Strictly Lit Tequila as well. You can order it on strictlylittequila.com. And usually it takes about 2 or 3 days to get it to your house anywhere in the United States.
Awesome. Well, I want to say thank you so much for your time. We're rooting for you. Hopefully you guys keep growing and keep getting that organic traction. This is an awesome product. So
absolutely. No, I appreciate your time, man, and thanks for having us on.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I wanted to also show you guys the other bottles before we end this.
Sure.
We got our añejo here. We got our reposado here, and I wanted to show it to you like all lit up on all of them, just so you guys can get a rough idea of what we're looking like here when you guys are doing your parties and you guys have it sitting on the shelf somewhere and you're like, wow,
that's cool.
That's pretty sharp.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like those white. Yeah, that's something else. That is cool.
Thank you. It's definitely going to be a game changer.
100%. I mean, and like what you said, it's a product that there's no hangovers. I mean, that's like those two things. I mean, like you already have me sold. So
I appreciate it, man. Well, again, I wanted to thank you for having us on, and I wanted to thank you for taking the time. I know it was kind of hard in the beginning because I'm such a busy person, but I'm glad you didn't give up on me, and I'm glad we were able to meet halfway everywhere we went, and
likewise, yeah.
And I hope to talk to you again soon, man. Yeah, really. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thank you as well.
All right.
All right. Thanks. All right. Bye.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.